Alright, so today we're going to look at the Nintendo Famicom, which is the Japanese version of the NES. And there seems to be some confusion about how to set it up with the US TV. Now, people say that you might need to change crystals or alter frequencies or do some sort of mod, but that's not really necessary at all. So I'm going to show you what my setup is to use my Famicom on a US TV. So, the first step is to find any RCA cable. Something with a connector that looks like this. They're common with, VCRs, DVD sets, old game consoles. You'll notice them by the yellow, white, and red colors. And this is just some audio cable from Radio Shack. And all RCA cables are the same. The colors on the ends don't mean anything. Those are just there so that you know what you're doing when you hook them up. So you plug one end of the RCA cable into the video port of the Famicom, and what I do is I use something called an Rca To Coax Connector. Now here's what that looks like. This is where the RCA goes, and then this screws into my VCR. I use a VCR just because I connect multiple game consoles to this TV all the time, so it's easier than me moving my TV around and going in the back and messing with the wires. So you don't need to have a VCR. This is just the way that I set it up. So anywhere that you can screw in a coax cable with this connector will work fine. So you plug the RCA into the end of the adapter, then screw it into the antenna in, or coax in, whatever it's called, of your setup, so be it in the back of your TV or your VCR or your splitter or whatnot. And that's it. That's all you have to do. The Famicom does the RF modulation internally, meaning that you don't need one of those gray Nintendo boxes that has the cable on the end and then screws in like that, because if you do it that way it will have a lot of snow and a lot of gray lines and stuff on the picture. So if you've tried hooking up your Famicom that way and that's what you get, try this method instead. I know some people say it's fine to just use a US Nintendo gray box AV adapter, but for me that never works, so this is the method that I use. So screw it in, and there you go. Now this is the Famicom disk system screen, and I don't know if you can see it that well because it's kind of hard on my TV, but this is channel 99. This is channel 96. This is the channel that will work in the US if the switch on the back of your Famicom is set to channel 2. Now you can choose channel 1 or channel 2, and channel 2 is channel 96. Now I'll go in the back and change it for you so I can show you what it looks like on the other channel. Now notice there's a switch in the back that has two choices, TV and game. You want to make sure that the switch in the back of the Famicom is always on game, because if it's on TV, the signal is going to pass right through the Famicom and nothing's going to show up on your TV. So make sure that the switch on the back is always set to game. Now it's kind of a pain to reach, so let me find something pointy to stick in there. It's kind of recessed into the console, so it's not the easiest thing to get at. So, alright, now when I switch this, you should see a bunch of snow. There we go. Okay, so that's channel 99. Back down to channel 96. Now notice that channel 96 has nothing on it. That's because I switched the channel in the back to channel 1 on the Famicom. So now when I switch to channel 95, we should see it again. And there you go. That's all you have to do. So you might have to, if you have a newer TV, to change your TV's settings so that the channels are on the cable setting, because if they're on the antenna setting, I don't think that this will work. But try both. If you're on one and it doesn't work, switch to the other and then it should work. And I'll pop in a game for you just so you can check out Famicom disk system, which is a pretty finicky thing to fix. They tend to have a lot of really common problems. One of them being that the belt inside the drive breaks a lot, and so this is one that I got non-working and then I fixed. And the FDS is a pretty cool add-on. Back in the day, the discs were a lot cheaper than making cartridges, so if you didn't have a lot of money, it was a lot easier to get the games on disc than on cart. And there you go, there's Dracula 2, known in the US as Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. And that's it. I just wanted to show you guys real quick how to hook it up to a US TV. It's really not that hard. Also, for power considerations, what I use for an AC adapter for my Famicom is just a Genesis or Mega Drive Model 1 adapter. The big rectangular one, it looks like a brick, it's huge. One thing you should definitely never do is do not use a US NES adapter. Don't do it. You'll blow a fuse inside the Famicom and it'll be a pain. Do not use a US NES adapter under any circumstances. Genesis Model 1 will work fine. I'll look for the technical specs because I don't remember them offhand, and I'll put them in the description to this video, because any generic power adapter with a plug that fits and has a certain setting in terms of the power requirements that it has, I'll find out what those are and I'll post them on the description. But in general, the easiest thing to do is just use a Genesis Model 1 big brick power adapter. So there you go. That's how to set it up a Famicom and a US TV. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. Thanks guys, bye.